If you're carrying credit card debt right now, you probably think the problem is simple. You spent too much, you weren't disciplined enough, you made mistakes. That's what most people believe. But here's the truth. Credit card debt is not just a spending problem. It's a behavioral trap, a mathematical trap, and a psychological trap, all working together. And if you don't understand how it really works, you'll keep paying for years without realizing just how much it's costing you. Let's break this down honestly. The entire system is designed for you to stay in debt. Credit card companies don't make money from people who pay their balance in full every month. They make money from interest, from late fees, from people who carry balances month after month. Think about your statement. When you receive it and see minimum payment due, $42, that number isn't there to help you. It's there to keep you comfortable enough to continue. It keeps the balance alive. It keeps the interest flowing. It keeps you locked inside their system. And the most dangerous part, making that minimum payment feels responsible. When you pay the minimum, you feel like you've been disciplined. You avoided a late fee. You stayed on track. But this is a psychological illusion. Let's look at the actual math. If you have $5,000 in credit card debt at a 22% interest rate and you only ever pay the minimum, it can take you over a decade to fully pay it off. And you won't just pay back the original $5,000. You might pay $7,000, $8,000, or even more, that extra money. That's your future being sold off, slowly, 1 month at a time. We love talking about compound interest when it benefits our investments, but when it works against you, it becomes a silent enemy. Interest doesn't just add up, it multiplies. You're not just paying interest on what you bought. You're paying interest on past interest, and what happens if you miss a payment? The rates can increase, fees stack up, your credit score drops. Suddenly, borrowing becomes even more expensive. That's how a temporary problem spirals into a long-term burden. Here's something nobody talks about enough. Credit cards amplify emotional spending. They disconnect you from the pain of a purchase. When you use cash, you feel the loss immediately. You see the money leave your hand, but when you swipe a card, that pain is delayed. And that delay changes your behavior. You're more likely to spend more, by impulsively justify little upgrades, and ignore small purchases. Those small purchases are what get you the $15 subscriptions, the $40 dinners, the $60 impulse buys. Individually, they seem harmless, but collectively, they are destructive. The problem isn't usually one big, extravagant purchase. It's the repeated small leaks that sink the ship. This is the real cost that people ignore. Debt shrinks your future options. It limits your flexibility. Imagine two people earning the exact same income. One has no debt. The other has $800 a month going directly to credit card payments. Who has more freedom? The person without debt can invest, take calculated risks, start a side project, switch jobs to a more fulfilling career, or even move to a new city. The person with debt, they're trapped by fixed obligations. Debt doesn't just cost you money, it costs you options. And options are what create real wealth. So, why do most people stay stuck? Because they attack their debt emotionally instead of strategically. They feel guilt, they feel stress, they feel overwhelmed, and what do? They avoid looking at it. Or they throw random extra payments at the debt without any real system. Here's the truth. Debt requires strategy, not shame. Shame keeps you stuck right where you are. Strategy is what moves you forward. So, let's talk about the smart way to break this cycle. Step 1 is simple. Face the numbers. List every single credit card you have. Write down the balance. Write down the interest rate. Write down the minimum payment. Clarity removes fear. Once you see it all laid out, it's no longer a big, scary monster hiding in the dark. It's just math. Step 2. Choose a strategy. There are 2 popular methods. You can use the avalanche method, where you pay off the card with the highest interest rate first. This saves you the most money in the long run. Or you can use the snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balance first. This gives you quick wins and psychological momentum to keep going. Either one works, but only if you commit to it. Step 3. And this is critical. Stop adding new debt. You cannot drain a bathtub if the faucet is still running. Switch to cash or a debit card for your spending until the high-interest debt is gone. Step 4. Increase your cash flow. This is where you get aggressive. Cut unnecessary expenses temporarily. Pick up extra income, whether it's a side gig or overtime. Sell things you no longer use. Call your service providers and negotiate your bills down. The faster you can attack the principal balance, the less interest you will pay over the long term. Many people are proud of having high credit limits, but high limits without control are just a trap waiting to be sprung. A good credit score is useful, sure, but it is not wealth. You can have a 780 credit score and still be completely broke. Credit is leverage, and leverage without discipline only magnifies your mistakes. Let's be clear, credit cards are not evil, ignorance is. Credit cards can be powerful tools. They can build your credit history, offer fantastic rewards, provide short-term liquidity, and protect you against fraud. But a tool requires skill. A hammer can build a house or it can break a window. It all depends on the user. The problem isn't the card. It's using it without a clear strategy. The mindset shift that changes everything is this. Stop thinking, "How do I survive this debt?" and start thinking, "How do I eliminate this debt permanently and start building assets?" Paying off your debt should not be your final goal. It should be your starting point. Because once that debt is gone, your cash flow is transformed. Once your cash flow changes, investing becomes easier. And once investing becomes consistent, wealth begins to build. Think about the real cost of carrying debt. Let's say you carry $10,000 in credit card debt for 5 years. Now imagine instead that you invested that same amount of money over those 5 years. The opportunity cost, in just the interest you paid, it's all the growth you missed out on. Debt doesn't just drain your present, it steals from your future. The final truth is this: credit card debt is not random, it's predictable. It grows when you ignore it, and it shrinks when you attack it strategically. Most people stay stuck because they treat debt emotionally. The people who escape treat it mathematically. If you are serious about achieving financial freedom, here is the order of operations. First, stabilize your situation. Second, eliminate all high-interest debt. Third, build your emergency savings. Fourth, invest consistently. And fifth, increase your income aggressively. That's the progression. It's not about making minimum payments forever. It's not about hoping the debt just disappears. And it's definitely not about pretending it's normal. Because normal in today's world is broke. Strategic is free. The truth about your credit card debt is simple. It will either control your future, or you will control it. The decision is yours to make. Thanks for watching. And if this helped you, consider subscribing for more content to help you take control of your financial life.